Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be a new hits and misses video. So this is my follow-up to my trying a new makeup series that I post every single Friday. So a lot of times in those videos, it's a first impression on products, or I've only tried them one or two times. So I always like to come back after a couple weeks, give my full reviews on everything. So I have two videos that I will be following up for today. So why don't we go ahead and get started. So I will leave both videos that I am following up for in my description box down below. But the first video is where we were trying out the Natasha Denona Lila palette, the Smashbox Cali contour palette. We had an Hourglass caution mascara in there, the Natasha Denona Superglow highlight. So that is the video that I'm first going to be reviewing these products from. So first up, the Natasha Denona Mini Lila palette. This was $25. I do not have it no more. If you watched my video of me decluttering my Sephora loves list, I was basically just going through my entire loves list, talking about what items were staying on there, you know, which ones were going to be repurchases, which ones I was taking off, and I actually gave the story of what happened with the mini Natasha Denona Lila palette. Now I did end up returning it, and usually I wouldn't return something before I'm filming the follow-up to it. The reason that I did it is because the Sephora appreciation sale was going on. I wanted to be able to use my code one more time in store, so I figured why not just go in and return it and then do the rest of my shopping. So that is why I did that. But when I posted this trying new makeup video, I put a pinned comment under there that said, after filming that video a few hours later, my eyes were super irritated. So badly. Even the next morning, they were still super irritated. And I wasn't sure if it was the Lila palette that was doing it or the Hourglass Caution Mascara, because both of them were new to me and both were the first time I was trying it, so I wasn't sure which one it was. So as the weeks went on, I tried both of them separately, and I realized that it was actually the Natasha Denona Lila palette. Now I have the Mini Sunset palette from Natasha Denona as well. I have used that several times and I've never had an issue with my eyes. I do have fairly sensitive eyes. Sometimes like certain glitters can really burn and irritate my eyes. There are certain mascaras that I try that irritate my eyes, like the e.l.f. eyeshadow palettes. I really haven't been able to wear any of them because something about the formula in there irritates my eyes. So I was a little caught off guard that it was the Natasha Denona. I had pretty much convinced myself it was the mascara just because I've had the mini Lila or the mini Sunset palette too and didn't have any issues. So I was really surprised by that. But so unfortunately I did have to take that one back because I would not be able to put it on my eyes any longer. But I will also say one thing about that palette as I was going through and trying it out was that I ended up not really enjoying it. And I think I feel like a lot of it's on me because I decided to make that purchase and I could clearly see what colors were in that palette. But you do get 5 shades, and the purples in there, they almost seemed like once you put them on your eyes, it was almost like it was the same color. Like they would kind of muddy up together, and it just, something about those two weren't quite making me super happy. And then you have like the really light shade that was in there. That one I thought was really nice. I thought that was a pretty shade. And then you have that bright blue, but something about it, I just started to feel super limited, which I feel really silly saying because there's only 5 shades in there, but there's only 5 shades in the Mini Sunset palette, and I still like it and I still can do a combination of looks. But it was almost like once I started putting shades together, putting colors together, especially those purples, I just felt like my looks were always the same, or the colors were just not blending well together. I don't know. I'm also not the best with darker colors, deeper colors, things like that. They're harder to work with, they're harder to blend and get the right amount of product on your eyes. So I just was kind of struggling with that palette, but the biggest reason why I returned it is because that was the one that ended up irritating my eyes. So bummer on that one. But another product that I tried in there was from Smashbox. This is the Cali contour palette. This is $39. So this is a really nice palette. Do I have my peacock leggings on again? I have my peacock leggings on again. Nice. Inside you have a mirror, and then you have contour shades, you have bronzer shades, blush shades, highlight shades. I really, really like this palette. A lot of people were recommending it. This one isn't even like a new palette to the market, but I've just seen so many people continually talking about it. A lot of people put it in their Sephora recommendations videos, and I was like, you know what? I just want to go ahead and pick it up. I got this before the Sephora recommendations, but I'm just saying that a lot of people are continually recommending this palette. I love face palettes. I love palettes that have a little bit of everything in here, and this one to me has a little bit of everything. I use this as my contour shade. I use this as my bronzer shade. Obviously, this is my blush. This is a really nice highlight, and this I've actually used as a setting powder for under my eyes or to like clean up contour, things like that. And overall, I'm seriously so impressed with this palette. I would recommend it. The powders are really easy to use. They're really easy to blend out. They're not like overly pigmented. Like when I put these powders on, I don't feel like I'm struggling to blend them out or anything like that. I've been very happy with this palette. I really don't have any complaints about it. I use it very frequently. Sometimes I use it for all of the different shades. Sometimes I'm just going in for one. I've taken it traveling with me. I like the packaging on this. So I've been very impressed with that palette. So I also tried in there this bronzer. This is from Guerlain. It is the Terracotta Bronzing Powder, and this is in the shade 3. So I did get this one from Octoly to try out. So you just have this little compact here with the mirror and then the bronzing powder. So first off, I don't like the smell of this. It has a very, very intense fragrance, and even as you're putting it onto the skin, it's that very like intense, like perfumey type of fragrance, which I don't love in my makeup. So that was one kind of like turn off for me right away. But I also it wasn't a bronzer that overly impressed me and that I was like, yes, I'm gonna find myself reaching for this a lot. A lot of times when I was wearing this one, it was because I was like, you need to try it a few more times because you need to be able to review it. But I really ended up not really liking it. There's also some very faint, I was gonna say sparkle, but like shimmer in here also, and I more prefer a matte bronzer. So I didn't quite love that either. And this is a $53 bronzer, which I think is really expensive. Nothing about the packaging to me screams like this is a high-end $53 bronzers. Like I have bronzers with better packaging. So especially for the price, I mean, it has like this cute little, you know, like little imprint in there, but even still, like as I'm moving it around, I can just smell that perfume, and it's very overwhelming. So unfortunately this one was just a miss for me. But has anybody tried the terracotta bronzers? Has anybody tried the Guerlain terracotta bronzers? And what do you think of them? But that one I didn't really enjoy. And then next up, so like I was saying, I tried the Hourglass Caution Mascara. This is the Extreme Lash Mascara. I have a mini here. It was either a bonus offer or a point perk. I can never really remember, with Sephora. And people were talking about it, so I decided to grab it. I like being able to try out mascaras, especially high-end mascaras. So this was not the culprit of my eye irritation, which I was very happy about. And I actually really like this mascara. It makes my lashes nice and long. It gives them some volume. I have them on my bottom lashes right now. I do have false lashes on my top lashes, but I have them on my bottom lashes. I think it especially makes the bottom lashes super long, and I think this is a really nice mascara. I wouldn't purchase the full size of it because I don't really purchase full size mascaras, but I think that you can buy the mini of it, or if you're just able to get a mini version and to try it out. I think it does really nice things for the lashes. I didn't notice any sort of transfer on my face, which I think is fantastic. So next up, I tried a product that I hate. This is the Natasha Denona Superglow. Terrible highlighter. I'm just kidding. I love this highlight so much. I've already gone on. I mean, I'm pretty sure I put this in like favorites videos. I recommended it in my Sephora recommendations video. I kept it on my Sephora loves list when I was doing my declutter because I said I might purchase another highlight in medium. This one is in fair, and I just think it is so beautiful. There is a swatch of the highlight right there. It's so beautiful. It looks wet on the skin. There's no glitter in it. It doesn't enhance a lot of texture on me. I just think it is so stunning. It is definitely more of an intense highlight. If you are more subtle with your highlights, do not buy this one because you're gonna waste your $38. But if you are like me and you like blinding highlights, highly recommend. There's 3 different shades of these. They are $38, so they are pricey, but I love the packaging on it. I like that you have a mirror. One of my most reached for highlights right now. I got asked on my Instagram, like, what are my favorite, like, what's my favorite highlight at the moment, which is incredibly rude to make me pick one. I picked 3. I said Mary Luminizer is my OG. Ofra Pillow Talk is like one of my favorite pinky highlights. And then Natasha Denona Superglow and Fair. I think it's fantastic. And then the last product that I tried in there was a lipstick, and this is from Covergirl. Okay, here it is. This is one of their demi matte lipsticks, and I believe these are called the Exhibitionist lipsticks, and this was in the shade Trending. So I did receive a PR package from Covergirl with a bunch of their lipsticks in there, and they have different like formulas, finishes of the lipsticks. The demi matte lipsticks are by far my favorite. I tried the cream ones and I just didn't really like them. They didn't seem to really get on with my dry lips. They just kind of showed a lot of like my flaky lip, you know, issues going on. But the demi mattes are a super nice formula. I really like the shade Trending as well, and they have a bunch of different shades. I believe these are $8, and you can also find them at Ulta. I think these are really nice lipsticks. They're not super like long wearing or anything like that, you know, they're just the regular lipstick, but they look really flattering on the lips. They're nice and creamy when you apply them. They dry down, you know, a little bit more. It more just gives you the matte finish look than it does actually feeling super matte or super dry on your lips, and I really like these. I would definitely recommend them from CoverGirl. Alrighty, so that was everything for the first video, and then jumping over to the second video, I have the Norvina palette to chat about, some mascaras from CoverGirl, and then some of the Dose of Colors and Iluvsarahii collaboration. So first up, the Norvina palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. When I was trying this in that video, I was saying that I was having a really good experience with it, and I know this palette again has been getting like very mixed feedback. Some people are saying they have no pigmentation, that the shadows are just like falling apart, and for me personally, I haven't really experienced any troubles. Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadows are very, very soft. They're that way in Modern Renaissance, they're that way in Soft Glam, they were definitely that way in Subculture, but like on a different level, but they just are softer. So sometimes it's interesting because when I've been working with other eyeshadow palettes and then I come into an Anastasia palette, no matter which one, I'll kind of like really dip my brush in there and then be like, oh no, wasn't supposed to do that. So I can definitely get the frustration that you do kind of have to treat Anastasia's palettes different than some other palettes, but some other palettes you also have to work a little bit harder for to get some pigmentations or the shimmers to work, or things like that. So for me, it doesn't really bother me. It's just something that I have to remember. I really like the color scheme in this palette as well. I've been having a great time with it. I don't know if you were to ask me to choose between the Modern Renaissance, the Soft Glam, and the Norvina palette to like rank them, that sounds very, very challenging, but this one is right up there. I think I've tried every single shade now. I've done colorful shades, I've done the purples, I've done the pinks, I've done more neutral shades. I just feel like there's a lot that you can do with this palette, and I really like it. I like the mixture of matte and shimmers. I'm more of a matte girl myself, so I kind of wondered, since the palette was basically split in half, I was like, would I still like it as much? Would I still be able to do as many looks with it? And I seriously can. I've been getting on really well with my palette. It's $42. I would highly recommend it. I've really been liking my Norvina palette. And then I also tried some CoverGirl mascaras in there. So I tried out the Lash Blast Amplify Primer, and then I also tried out the Flourish by Lash Blast Mascara. So I'm not a big mascara primer person anymore. I used to be in college, and not so much anymore. This primer I do think is pretty good though. If you have any mascaras that like you just really want to get on with, or maybe there's something about the mascara that you like, but it's not just like the best mascara, this is actually a fairly nice mascara primer. I don't think it's necessary for like every day. I don't think everybody needs it, and sometimes I just kind of think if you have good mascaras in your collection, you wouldn't have a need for a primer. But I did like the way that my lashes looked when I put these together. But I wanted to see, is the primer actually doing something? Is it just a good mascara on its own? And I actually definitely do think that it's the primer that is doing something, because when I wear this on its own, my lashes they're struggling. So I don't think it's absolutely needed, but if you are a mascara primer person and you're looking for a good one, I think this is a good option. And then like I said, for the Flourish mascara, this one just doesn't do a whole lot without the primer. It nicely lengthens the lashes, but it also doesn't make them super black. So because my lashes aren't like the blackest black, even though they're longer, I still feel like they're kind of like hard to see when I use this mascara. This is what the wand looks like. It's really nice and thin, and you can get right at the base of your lash and lift it up. But again, without the primer, I wasn't as impressed with it. It's really nice for your lower lashes though, because again, because the wand is so thin, you can get right up there on the lower lashes and then really lengthen them out. So I like them for the lower lashes, but I wouldn't wear them for the top lashes unless I was like prepping for false lashes, which is actually what I did today, or using them on the bottom. So I actually ended up liking the primer better than the mascara, which was kind of weird. And then last up to review, I have some of the products that I picked up from Ulta and the Dose of Colors and Iluvsarahii collection. So I grabbed one of the highlights, and then I also grabbed two of the liquid lipsticks. So the liquid lipsticks from Dose of Colors, this is one of my favorite formulas. I own so many of them, I purchased so many of them, and I just really enjoy them. I like Dose of Colors as a brand. I really like Iluvsarahii. I think she has great tutorials here on YouTube, and I just always get excited when she posts a video. So I was very excited to see the collaboration. I picked up the shades Peachy and then also Nude Chica, and I love them both. Again, I really like this formula. It's a liquid lipstick and it does dry down matte on your lips, but it doesn't feel too uncomfortable to me. I also really like the long wear of these. I wore Nude Chica when I was at a wedding the other weekend, and it was fabulous to put the lipstick on at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon and truly not look at my lips the rest of the night. Like when we got home at midnight, I was like, yep, I'm still looking great. Looking good, girl. I mean, might have been the wine talking as well, but I still feel like my lipstick look pretty darn good at the end of the night, which I just think that's fantastic. So this one here is Nude Chica, and then this one here is Peachy. So you can see that they're both nudes. Peachy obviously has more peach to it, and then Nude Chica is a really nice nude. It actually is a little bit lighter on me than I was expecting, so I do like to use a lip liner with it as well, just to kind of darken up, like especially at the edges of my lips, because it is quite nude. But I love these shades. I love this formula. I would highly recommend them. And then I also picked up the highlight because I love highlighters. I don't know what to do about that. So I picked up the highlight in Bathe. There is one other color as well. So in the packaging, you do have a little mirror, and then you have quite a large highlight here. It is the highlight that I have on my cheeks today. It does definitely look darker in the pan, and Karen said that in her video, but it really doesn't look too dark on my skin. I think it looks really nice, and this has become a very, very used highlight for me. I think that it is beautiful. I like the little bit of pinkiness to it, but it's not like too much of a colorful highlight for me. I think it's beautiful. This was my first Dose of Colors highlight that I tried, I believe, and I really like it. So I would definitely recommend them. Like I said, there is another color from the collection as well that I think is more of like a gold, or like a gold champagne, I think. But this one I'm really impressed with. So I'm happy with everything that I picked out from the collection. After that, that is going to do it for today's Hits and Misses video. So that is going to do it for today's Hits and Misses review follow-up video. Like I said, I'll have both of my first impression style videos linked down below. I do try new makeup every single Friday here on my channel if you ever want to tune in for those. I will also link down all the products that I mentioned. You'll have to let me know what have you tried, what are you liking, not liking so much, let me know in the comments. But other than that, if you guys did enjoy this video, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go. I do post every single day except for Saturdays, and I will catch you guys in tomorrow's video.